Gonna keep it kind of short and sweet about AEW over the past week because the main event of Dynamite was just more important than wrestling, really. And usually I will get on here and give my complaints about how Dark and Dark Elevation is wasted, but I'm not going to do that this week. And I will usually tear apart Tony Khan's booking in the past sometimes. We'll save that for the future because I'm not going to stop doing that. But this week we do need to give Tony Khan his props for finally getting through to Warner Brothers Discovery and getting Warner Brothers Discovery to let AEW put on a tribute show, a real tribute show for Jay Briscoe after they kept Jay Briscoe off of cable television because of old tweets, because that's the age we live in. I talked about it last week, that can be pretty ridiculous to not expect that people can change and to make old tweets more important than somebody slapping their wife just a few days ago before their slap fight league airs on the same channel. It's pretty ridiculous. But I'm glad that Tony Khan was persistent enough to make this happen. There's always been reports that Tony Khan had tried to get the Briscoe brothers to be a part of AEW, to be on television, but Warner Brothers Discovery would always put a stop to it. I've seen some rumors here and there, especially over the last week since Jay Briscoe's death, that there was speculation that it wasn't Warner Brothers Discovery and that really it was just some wrestlers within AEW that didn't want them to be a part of AEW. I don't know if there's any weight to that, though. I don't think there is a reason to disbelieve the reports that Warner Brothers Discovery was the main thing keeping them off of television. But there was a lot of reminders over this past week why wrestling can be so good when it's hitting right. A big part of that was the Raw XXX, the 30th year of Raw, which I will talk about WWE on this channel tomorrow, and I already talked about the hot angle I enjoyed from New Japan over this past week. And with AEW and Mark Briscoe wanting this match on his brother's birthday, only a week after his death, it was Mark Briscoe against their friend Jay Lethal. Big part of ROH history, to say the least. There's always a lot of talk of the pillars of AEW. While those three are more than just the pillars of ROH, they are the entire foundation, quite frankly. Mark Briscoe wanted to pay tribute to his brother on his birthday, and I think he did a hell of a job of it. And it was kind of like a sad way of showing us that the show must go on, but it was a lot of love, and I think that is something. When pro wrestling is done right, it can transcend into real life, like I think that main event did. Mark Briscoe paying tribute to Jay. It is 100% bittersweet, though, because we'll never get to see Jay Briscoe be on national television, work for a bigger company than ROH. But Mark can indeed carry on the Briscoe name, and I think he will do a hell of a job doing that. I saw an interview he did with Caprice, the announcer, afterwards, talking about how he feels like Jay is not gone, Jay is still in his heart.
Y'all already know family is been beyond important to me. My life, 23 years, me and my brother been riding the roads, making towns, hitting different countries, you know what I mean? And ain't no way that I've been wanting to do this for this long if I ain't had my boy with me the whole time. But now it's time to carry on for him. You know what I'm saying? Family is beyond this life is temporary. You know what I'm saying? Temporal. Let's focus on the eternal, not the temporal. My brother ain't here with me. I brought my beautiful wife with me, but my brother ain't here with me as he normally has been, normally would be, but he's still with me right here.
Mark showing that he is ready to embrace the future even without his brother. He still feels like his brother is in his heart. He gave a shout out to Jay's daughters, which is another very sad part of the story. AEW is selling a shirt where 100% of the proceeds will go to Jay's daughters, which is another great thing Tony is doing. I'm sure Tony is going to take care of that family as good as he can, the same way he has done with Brody Lee and his son. So that's definitely what I wanted to give props to Tony Khan. And I can disagree with his thoughts on how to book a wrestling product, and I will always probably do that. But I think as a person, and certainly as a billionaire, because a lot of them aren't cool as people want to think that they are. I think Tony Khan is a good dude, and I think this 100% shows that. But I also, of course, want to give props to Mark Briscoe. Sometimes with death, we throw ourselves in our work or in our hobbies because it's a good distraction, and I hope that's not the case with Mark, but sometimes it is necessary to do it that way. But I'm sure that match last night with Jay Lethal, for both of them, was cathartic in a way, with the aftermath of Jay's death. Last thing I want to say in this video, and I said I didn't want to get too negative, but this is going to kind of be a negative, but it's also a positive. Ian and Caprice, who do the commentary for Ring of Honor, calling that main event, along with Excalibur, was great. That was great commentary by those three, but to me it really showed how bad AEW's commentary is. AEW's commentary with Taz and Shivani and Excalibur doesn't capture moments very well. They go on, they tell a lot of jokes, and they get off topic a lot. Whereas this announced team really made that special moment even bigger because of how good the commentary was, explaining every detail, explaining all the emotions, which is what pro wrestling commentary used to do and should still do. So I want to shout out to Ian and Caprice for pulling off what I think is some of the best commentary the company's had.
You know, we came in last night to comfort you, and you were comforting us. And I was like, that's the strongest faith I've ever seen, man. I love you. I appreciate you and the family. And if anybody's shown strength of family, it's definitely been your family. And I just want to say I love you and appreciate you. We support you. We love the Briscoes. And it's going to continue to go on, bro. You killed it last night.
Oh, thank you, baby. Thank you. I'm sore, baby. I'm sore.